So we've been talking about generations. What does that really mean? Well, there's the American generations. These are the phrases that we've used, and this source comes from CNN. So let's talk about what they really mean. Well, the first generation, Tom Brokaw, a famous American journalist, termed as the greatest generation. These were the folks that fought in the First World Wars, and these folks were the GI generation, born in 1924 or earlier. Then there was the silent generation, born in 1925 to 1945. These were traditionalists. And then you'll see Generation W, X, Y, Z, and now we're starting to see appear Generation AA. Okay? So the whole notion of generations came about from the work of two sociologists named William Strauss and Neil Howe. And they wrote the book, literally called Generations. And they argued that basically what you see is this shift that I referred to in the previous slide happen every 18 to 25 years, right? So what does this mean? When we're talking about coaching, remember we talked about those values and those morals or those norms that shift? Well, someone has to teach that to the next generation if they're to live on or to adapt. So each generation helps the next generation. That does not mean, however, that coaching is a one-way street. Multi-generational coaching is actually a two-way street. What do I mean? It's not always the case that the older person or senior person coaches the younger person, teaches the younger person, trains the younger person. No, in many cases, that is what happens. But in a great number of cases, it's actually reciprocated by the younger generation. Can anyone think of an example where a younger person might actually be coaching a senior person? You can tell me in the chat, or you can tell me audibly. Nienke, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, she says digital skills. Excellent, thank you. Z says technology. Absolutely. How many times is it social media? Yes. Gregory says current trends. Yeah, we're seeing several people put it there. Emotional skills, says Rick. Very good. Frank says design thinking. Farah, if I'm saying that correctly, says digital technology and innovations. Ooh, Angeline, she says AI. Yes, all of these come into play. So the more senior person may say, let me teach you about the business. Let me teach you about life, right? And let me coach you so that you may be able to progress up the corporate ladder, grow your career. That younger person might say, okay, excellent. Let me help you with your technology. Let me help you with your social media profile. And the senior executive may say, well, I don't need a social media profile. And the younger person might be able to say, here's why you need a strong LinkedIn presence. Here's why. You may not need Facebook, you may not need a Snapchat, but here's why you absolutely need LinkedIn, and let me help you build that out. Or these other technologies, as Angeline talks about, we're going to speak to that later. AI, artificial intelligence, right? Now, that's where we're talking about the benefit here. So we want to be able to identify what these generations are and be able to navigate them.